Part 111. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 1101. Chapter 1101. She has never been so embarrassed. Mrs. Mo's face was pale, her lips moved, and she wanted to say something more. But the old lady didn't give her a chance to speak, and warned her angrily once again, "If you ruin my grandson's good marriage, don't blame me for not showing mercy to you. Do you really think you have done this for dozens of times? Now that Mrs. Mo has secured her position in this family, no one can do anything to you. I'm not dead yet. I, the old woman, still have the final say in this family. I won't care about the past things with you. I'll give you a chance and face. But if you behave like this again in the future, you will be punished. Don't say that I won't give you, the mistress of the Mo family, face." Mrs. Mo is usually afraid of old ladies. Now that the old lady yelled at me, I was even more frightened and didn't dare to say anything. Her mood at this time was angry, scared, aggrieved, and embarrassed. The old lady scolded her severely in front of the servants below, which made her feel ashamed. She had never been so embarrassed. But this embarrassment was given to her by the old lady. She couldn't get angry or resist yet, she could only bear it silently. "Remember my words," the old lady gave her an angry look, "live your good life peacefully, and your children and grandchildren will have their own blessings. Don't meddle in things you shouldn't. I hope what I just said you've listened to those words, and you'd better listen to them too, otherwise. If you have to make it impossible for your family to have peace, you will definitely regret it in the future. Think about it yourself again." After saying the last words, the old lady took back the crutch in her hand, called a maid to help her back to the bedroom upstairs. Wait until the old lady's figure completely disappeared. Mrs. Mo was still standing there with a livid face. The servants around looked at her gloomy face, and none of them dared to take a breath. "I don't want to get into trouble and offend her at this time. After all, it is not a glorious thing to be scolded by your mother-in-law because of your daughter-in-law. And this disgraceful thing was seen by them." One can imagine how angry Mrs. Mo was at this moment. The servants lowered their heads one by one, and they all wished they could bury their heads in the ground. In this way, Mrs. Mo will not be able to see them. They don't have to worry about being angry. Mrs. Mo stood there motionless like a squatting sculpture. The old lady just asked her to think about it, and she did think about it. She also thought clearly. Chiao Mian can never stay in the Mo family again. The old lady is completely confused by her now. Opening and closing his mouth were all directed towards her. This is a very bad phenomenon. If we can't find a way to drive her away from the Mo family, I'm afraid that she will rely on the old lady's favor to behave in various ways in the Mo family, making the whole family a mess and making the Mo family no longer peaceful. The most important point is that she has already set her sights on Mo's shares. If you confuse ACI and give her all the shares in the future, the consequences will be disastrous. So, even if it was to protect the rights and safety of the Mo family, she could not keep her in the Mo family. Whether the old lady and her son understood her or not, she had to get Chiao Mian away. Otherwise, leaving her to stay in the Mo family would be a disaster. Now, she still has no news in her stomach, so the old lady and ACI focus on her. End of this chapter. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 1102. Chapter 1102, Is it called Chiao Angzan? If one day you are pregnant with a child, wouldn't it mean that you will become the king of the Mahist family? Will she still have a place in the Mahist family in the future? As the mistress of the Mahist family, does she still have any right to speak? Thinking of all the terrible consequences that might happen, her eyes grew colder, with determination in her eyes, and she secretly vowed that no matter what she did, she would make Xiao Mian leave the Mo family and her son. Since it's useless to persuade her to leave, don't blame her for being ruthless. She didn't believe it, there was nothing she could do about Shang Guan Wenpei taking such a small role. Asterisk. The other side. Shenro got a piece of information. She spent half an hour carefully reviewing all the information that the private detective had investigated. After reading it, she pursed her lips, grimaced, and squeezed the information she had just read in her hand. The person who gave her the information looked at her face and said hesitantly, "Ms. Shen, during our investigation, we also discovered something." Shenro took a deep breath and raised her head. "What's the matter?" "We found that there are other people who are also investigating the matter of the daughter of the Bai family who was left behind." Shenro was stunned and frowned slightly. "Is there anyone else? Are they from the Bai family?" "No," the man beside him said immediately. "If they are from the Bai family, there is no need to tell Miss Shen specifically. According to our investigation, we found that the group of people seems to be from the Chiao family." "People from the Chiao family?" Shenro's eyes showed surprise, and she immediately cheered up. "You said there are people from the Chiao family who are also investigating this matter? Do you know who is investigating?" "We followed the clues to investigate. If there are no mistakes, it should be the second young lady of the Chiao family." "The second young lady of the Chiao family?" Shenro was stunned for a moment, a strange color flashed across her eyes, and she clenched her hand a little tighter by her side. "Are you calling Chiao Angzan?" The moment Shenro regarded Xiao Mian as her love rival, she had already investigated all the information about Xiao Mian. At that time, it was Gong Zili who helped her investigate. So Shenro knew that Xiao Mian and Suziyi had dated. "I also knew that Suziyi later broke up with her for her stepsister." "Yes, my name is Xiao Angzan." The man beside him thought for a moment, then lowered his voice and said, "If Miss Shen still wants to know more specific information, I can help you find out. But those people are also private detectives, working for others. Those who work. If you want to know everything from them, Miss Shen might." Before the man finished speaking, Shenro interrupted him in a calm voice, "Go and find out immediately. You can pay any amount. I want to know why Xiao Angzan wants to inquire about the Bai family." "Yes, Miss Shen." "Then I will go and do it." After receiving the task, the man left immediately. Shenro pinched the stack of documents in her hand, thinking about what the man just said. Her face grew colder by the inch. She bit her lips tightly, with deep hatred in her eyes. No, it's impossible. Things were definitely not what she thought. How could that poor woman Xiao Mian be related to the daughter left behind by the Bai family? Besides that she is of the same age, there is nothing else about her that is related to the daughter of the Bai family who was left behind. If just because they are the same age, they may be the daughter of the Bai family, then looking at Yunchinj, there are countless people who may be the daughter of the Bai family. End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 1103. Chapter 1103. Do you have to do things so absolutely? However, even though she told herself over and over again that it was impossible, she still couldn't help but feel fear deep inside. Afraid that what she worries about will come true. Afraid that that poor woman with a lowly status would become a famous daughter like her. The main reason why MRSMO is on her side now and wants to bring her and Mo Yesi together is because she feels that the Shen family and the Mo family are a good match. If MRSMO liked her after knowing the true situation of the Shen family, she would probably hesitate. If Xiao Mian becomes the daughter of the Bai family, given the current status of the Bai family, what reason does MRSMO have to object to her being with Mo Yesi? Even the Shen family now wants to rely on the power of the Bai family. If Chiao Mian becomes the daughter of the Bai family, then she will have no advantage in front of her. Shen Ro would never tolerate such a thing happening. Whether she is overthinking it or whether it is a real possibility, she must investigate the matter clearly. It's better that things weren't what she guessed, it's better that she was overthinking. But if it was as she guessed, she would not allow her guess to become reality. She will not tolerate someone who was once far inferior to her but will be above her in the future. She would never let such a thing happen. Asterisk. The next day, Chiao Mian, who was still on vacation, was woken up by a strange call early in the morning. When she saw it was an unfamiliar number, she hung up immediately. Thought it was a harassing call. But the number was quickly called to her again. Chiao Mian was angry when she woke up. She was already angry when she was woken up by this strange call. Seeing the other person calling again, she answered angrily, "Hello, I'm Chiao Mian. Who is this?" Although she was very angry, thinking that maybe she was being called because of work matters, she still held back her anger and asked in a good voice. "Chiao Mian, do you have to do things so absolutely?" An angry voice sounded. The man seemed very angry and asked in a serious tone. Chiao Mian was startled for a moment, her brows immediately furrowed, and her tone became colder. "I said, who is so annoying to disturb people's dreams early in the morning? It turns out to be you. Suzy, did you dial the wrong number? I don't understand. What are you saying?" Chiao Mian had blocked Suzy's mobile phone number a long time ago. Perhaps Suzy found out that he was blocked and called her from a different number. Don't you understand, Suzy had already broken up with her that night, so he no longer pretended to be a gentle gentleman. He said in a deep and cold voice, "Don't tell me, you don't want to retaliate against me. That's why Gong Zili took action against Xingui. Chiao Mian, I really didn't expect you to be such an indiscreet and casual woman. Sometimes you are with a man named Mo, and sometimes you are with a man named Gong. How many financial backers do you have? Fortunately, I used to think that you were pure and innocent, and that you were a pure and kind-hearted woman. I was actually afraid that I would scare you, so I didn't dare to get too close to you. But in the end, you are just a rich man who can do whatever he wants." Ever since Suzy knew that Chiao Mian was not a virgin, in his heart, Chiao Mian was no longer pure. She is no longer a woman worthy of his serious treatment and sincerity. He already felt that Chiao Mian was a casual woman, and naturally he would no longer respect her as much as before. End of this chapter. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 1104. Chapter 1104. You are just an ignorant wolf. He said all kinds of unpleasant things. I was too naive to think that you would miss your old relationship. Haha, the old relationship from those years is nothing to you. You will be sincere to whoever has more money. Why didn't I should have noticed earlier that you are such a snobbish woman. Chiao Mian listened to all the unpleasant things he said. Even though she already knew what kind of man he was, she was still so angry that her hand holding the phone trembled. No matter how bad Suzy was in the past, he never said such disgusting words to her. Suzy continued to insult, "You are so cruel. In those years, the Su family and I were kind to you, but now you actually want to kill the Su family. Fortunately, my mother still loves you as if she were her own daughter. You are just an unfamiliar white-eyed wolf. Suzy, I don't know what you are crazy about. But I have nothing to say to a mad dog like you. Don't call me again. I will block you if you call me again." After Chiao Mian finished speaking, then hung up the phone. Then dragged Suzy's mobile phone number into the blacklist. After hanging up the phone, she was still trembling with anger. She never thought that a person could be so disgusting. When she thought she had seen the worst side of him, he told her with practical actions that she had underestimated how disgusting and shameless he was. Her understanding of him over the years was like a joke. She has known him for 10 years. But I have never really understood what kind of person he is. Chiao Mian had just blocked Suzi's mobile phone number when her phone beeped twice. She lowered her head and saw that it was a text message sent to her from an unknown number. Chiao Mian, no matter how dissatisfied you are with me, my parents have not offended you, right? Do you really want to kill the Su family? Do you know that my parents are so worried that they can't even eat and are crying all the time? Do you really want to be so cruel? It was actually sent by Suzy again. Chiao Mian took a look, deleted the text message, and then blocked the new number. She hated Suzy deeply. But she has never been prejudiced against Su's father and Su's mother. The person who felt sorry for her was Suzy. It's not Su's father and Su's mother, she can still distinguish this. So even though Chiao Mian blocked Suzy's mobile phone number, thinking about what he just said, she still prepared to go to Mo Yesi to ask what was going on. From what Suzy said, it seemed like Su's company had suffered some kind of blow. He just said that Gong Zili did it. But Chiao Mian knew very well that if someone really took action against Su's enterprise, that person couldn't be Gong Zili. It can only be Mo Yesi. Moreover, Mo Yesi has long been dissatisfied with Suzy. I'm afraid that after listening to what Linda said to him that day, I had the idea of taking action against Su. After being woken up by Suzy's phone call, Chiao Mian couldn't fall asleep. She simply got up, washed herself, and went downstairs with her mobile phone. "Good morning," Madam Butler Lin saw her and greeted her respectfully. "Madam, do you want to have breakfast now? I'll have the kitchen prepare it." Chiao Mian nodded and walked slowly towards the dining room. A few minutes after she sat down at the dining table, the servant came over with breakfast. Even if she is the only one eating, the breakfast is very rich, including fruits, snacks, Chinese and Western meals. While eating breakfast, she asked Butler Lin, who was standing aside, "Has Mo Yesi been in the company for a long time? When did he leave?" End of this chapter. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 1105. Chapter 1105, Brand owners come to visit us. Steward Lin bowed slightly and said, "The young master got up very early and has been walking for more than an hour." "Have you been walking for more than an hour?" Chiao Mian looked at the current time and felt that it was not so easy for Mo Yesi to be the president. She used to think that being a boss was very easy. You can sleep until you wake up naturally every day before going to the company. Or you can take a break when you want, and you don't have to go to the company every day. Even if you go to the company, you can't do much. You can get off work whenever you want. Only now do I realize that she was completely wrong. The higher you get, the less easy it becomes. Many things have to be done by oneself. Will the young lady go to the company to see the young master soon? I'll have the car ready in advance. Butler Lin thought she wanted to go to the Mo family to see Mo Yesi. Just as Chiao Mian was about to speak, her cell phone rang. She looked at the caller ID and saw it was Linda calling. She picked up immediately. "Sister Xia, what's the matter?" Mian, are you still in Yunchinj now?" Linda said straight to the point. "It's like this, I just helped you accept a very good advertisement. It just so happens that you have time these days, so you can shoot the advertisement. If you have time now, come over and let's talk about this matter in detail." Chiao Mian was startled. "Advertisement? What advertisement?" "It's an advertisement for a cosmetics brand, which can be considered a high-end series. In short, accepting this advertisement will only benefit you, and there will be no harm. Moreover, the price offered by the other party is also very high. I believe you will be satisfied with the specific amount." This cosmetics brand has used first-line artists before, but this is the first time it has hired new people to shoot ads with the popularity of their brand. If you serve as the spokesperson for the new season, it will be very helpful to increase your popularity. Linda spoke a lot, with joy in her words. Xiao Mian could tell that she was really satisfied with the advertising contract she accepted. Xiao Mian asked curiously, "Sister Xie, which brand of cosmetics are you talking about?" Linda named the cosmetics brand. Xiao Mian couldn't help but be surprised when she found out which cosmetics brand she was taking the photo for. "You mean MC, Sister Xie, are you right? You helped me accept MC's advertising endorsement." "That's right, it's MC and it's not me who picked it up for you, but they took the initiative to come to the door. I'll tell you what's going on after you come here. Do you have time now? If you have time, send me your address and I'll be there right away." Xiao Mian was even more surprised when she heard that the brand owner came to her door. MC is a big name in the cosmetics industry. As Linda said, every previous spokesperson was endorsed by a popular first-line artist. MC has never found a new person to endorse it. And she is a relatively unknown newcomer. Even though she is somewhat famous now because of some scandals, some people know her. But her little fame is not enough compared to popular artists. And she still has mostly negative fans. Under such circumstances, isn't it too strange that a first-line cosmetics brand approached her to be its spokesperson? No matter what, it doesn't make sense. Xiao Mian was filled with doubts, feeling that this matter was definitely not as simple as it seemed. End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 1106. Chapter 1106. Did Mr. Mo win it for you? But no matter how many questions she had now, it was impossible for Linda to explain them to her right away. Estimated that Linda didn't know what was going on. It seems that we can only wait until we meet in person before asking him properly. Soon, Linda sent the meeting address. After receiving the address, Xiao Mian went upstairs to change clothes and asked butler Lin to arrange a car to take her there. Asterisk. After an hour. In a private room of a club. The waiter took Xiao Mian outside the box. After knocking on the door, Xiao Mian walked in. Linda was already sitting in the box. When she saw her, she waved to her. The waiter closed the door, and Xiao Mian walked to sit opposite Linda. As soon as she sat down, she couldn't wait to ask, "Sister Xie, do you know what is going on with this advertising contract? You also know that with my current reputation, they have no reason to come to the door. Logically speaking, signing such a good advertising contract is a very happy thing." But Xiao Mian was happy, but she also felt vaguely uneasy in her heart. "I always feel that this thing is not normal. It is as abnormal as a pie suddenly falling from the sky." So no matter how tempting this advertisement was to her, she didn't dare to just accept it. This thing is a bit strange. Linda actually had doubts in her heart, but although she felt strange at the time, because the temptation was too great, she signed the contract without much thought. For her, it was definitely a surprise to get a front-line endorsement like MC for Xiao Mian. After all, even Xiao Angzhen, whom she had led before, was still a bit sophisticated if she wanted to accept an endorsement from MC. At that time, Xiao Angzhen was already a first-line artist. MC is particularly picky in selecting spokespersons. It's not just the artist's fame and appearance that matters, but also the artist's personality and academic qualifications. The artists who can be selected by MC are those with particularly good comprehensive conditions in all aspects. And now Xiao Mian. In addition to appearance and academic qualifications, he seems to be unqualified in many aspects. At that time, she received a call from the brand owner and was told that they wanted to sign a new advertising endorsement contract with Xiao Mian. Linda was also surprised. The first reaction is that the other party called the wrong number and contacted the wrong person. Otherwise, someone is playing a prank on her. But don't worry, I've asked you everything clearly. I've also looked at the specific contract. There's nothing wrong with the contract, and there aren't any traps. And they're quite sincere, and they've already finished half of the contract today. The signing fee came. He said that after you finish shooting the commercial, he will immediately transfer all the remaining signing fees. The person who shot your commercial this time is also a first-class director in the world. Mian, you are really lucky. Did Mr. Mo win this contract for you? Linda thought about it and felt that this was the most likely possibility. It would not be surprising at all if Mo Yesi fought for this advertising appointment. With his status, it would be no problem to give Xiao Mian better resources than this. Xiao Mian was stunned for a moment, frowned and said, "No way. He didn't tell me about this." Linda looked at him and said, "Didn't you say you wanted to rely on yourself? Maybe that's why he didn't tell you." Xiao Mian was stunned for a few more seconds, and she also doubted whether it was Mo Yesi's handiwork. Mian, I think if it's the resources that Mr. Mo is trying to fight for you, you might as well take it. MC's endorsement is not that easy to get. You don't know how many companies are vying for it. Mr. Mo will help you get it. It takes a lot of effort to get this resource, so you can't refuse, right? End of this chapter. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 1107. Chapter 1107. Opening and closing your mouth are all directed towards her. Mian, I think if it's the resources that Mr. Mo is trying to fight for you, you might as well take it. MC's endorsement is not that easy to get. You don't know how many companies are vying for it. Mr. Mo will help you get it. It takes a lot of effort to get this resource, so you can't refuse, right? Linda was afraid that Xiao Mian would reject such a good advertising resource in order to prove herself. She doesn't care who provides the resources. Xiao Mian is an artist under her, and she hopes that Mo Yesi can find more good resources for Xiao Mian to make him famous. In this way, she can save a lot of trouble. Moreover, MC has very high requirements for cooperative artists. Even if they come to you now, if your performance dissatisfies them, they will terminate your contract. So it is not that Mr. Mo has found resources for you, and you can be stable. Definitely get this endorsement. The follow-up still depends on your performance. Xiao Mian still felt that Mo Yesi had not helped her get this endorsement. But besides Mo Yesi, she couldn't think of anyone else. Anyway, there must be other reasons for this. Otherwise, it is really impossible for a first-line cosmetics brand like MC to find a newcomer like her as a spokesperson. This amounts to taking a big risk. Using a newcomer like her who has little fame or fans may lead to unsatisfactory sales of MC next season. Xiao Mian thought for a while and asked, "Sister Xie, have you signed the contract for me?" "Yeah." Linda nodded, "I've already signed it for you. But, if you feel it's not suitable and don't want to accept this endorsement, you can still turn it down before the official contract is signed. But I hope you can take the next step." Linda was still afraid that she would turn it down. This is really a good opportunity. Xiao Mian thought about it seriously and nodded, "Since Sister Xie thinks this is a good opportunity, of course I won't turn it down. Just make arrangements for everything." Xiao Mian's current thoughts are not as persistent as before. After talking to Linda that time, she changed some of her thoughts and no longer thought that she had to rely on herself for everything. Linda had a smile on her face and seemed relieved. "Okay, since you agree, I will call them soon and sign the official contract today." If you can sign this kind of advertising contract, try to sign it as early as possible. Sign it to avoid any changes later. There are still several artists who are watching. Chiao Mian looked well behaved and said, "Well, I listened to Sister Siet. Linda has reached the level of a gold medal agent, so Chiao Mian has nothing to worry about her." "Okay, then it's settled." Linda was also very satisfied with her attitude and said with a smile, "If you can successfully win this endorsement, it will greatly enhance your current reputation." "And you know the other party, how much was the signing fee?" Speaking of the signing fee, the smile on Linda's lips widened a lot. Obviously, she is very satisfied with the signing fee. Chiao Mian was also particularly interested in the signing fee and immediately asked, "How much is it?" "So many." Linda held out 3 fingers. Chiao Mian was stunned for a moment, and her face also showed joy. 3 million. "Linda," she said, "funny, Mian, you underestimate yourself too much. How can the signing fee of a big brand like MC be only 3 million? If it is a signing fee of 3 million, how can I give you the next one?" End of this chapter. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 1108. Chapter 1108. But the entire MC is owned by the Gong family. Chiao Mian. Her eyes widened in surprise. "It can't be, 3 or 30 million. "Well, 30 million." Linda smiled and said, "Actually, when MC signed other spokespersons in the past, they gave almost this number. But I originally thought that because you are still a newcomer and not well known yet, they would spend more on the endorsement fees. I won't give the price of an A-list celebrity." Unexpectedly, they did not reduce the endorsement fee. "Of course, I know you are with Mr. Mo now and you are not short of money. Maybe these 30 million are for you. It's a lot for me. I'm very satisfied." "Thank you, Sister Linda." Chiao Mian interrupted Linda excitedly, "and thank you, sister, I am short of money. Mo Yesi and I are dating, and he treats me, it's very generous, but I still want to use my own money as much as possible." Linda looked at her for a while and nodded, "I understand. There are indeed some things that are safer to hold in your own hands. So, I'll call them now and let's sign the contract first." "As for what? When it comes to shooting commercials, it depends on their arrangements." "Good." After getting Chiao Mian's consent, Linda took out her mobile phone and dialed. Asterisk. In another box in the same club, the CEO of the MC brand stood respectfully next to a man. "Mr. Gong, the contract with Miss Chiao has been finalized. Now we just have to wait for Miss Chiao to sign a formal contract, and then we can choose a time to shoot the next season's commercial." In the reporting room, the brand CEO looked down at the man sitting on the sofa, feeling a little depressed. Originally, they have already chosen their spokespersons for next season. And we have reached an agreement with the other party, but we just haven't signed a contract yet. He is also very satisfied with the spokesperson. Whether it is appearance or fame, he is an artist who can definitely drive sales in the next season. However, Gong Xiao suddenly asked to give the endorsement for the next season to a young newcomer named Chiao. That's it for new people. Still a newcomer who is extremely new, a pure newcomer who has no works at all. He asks someone to look at it. The newbie only has more than 1 million fans on Weibo, which is completely incomparable to the new little girl he had his eye on before. And even more than 1 million fans were created by hyping up scandals. This kind of fans who are created by hyping up scandals are no different than having no fans at all. In short, the brand boss is quite dissatisfied with the newcomer Miyazawa brought in. But no matter how dissatisfied he was, he didn't dare to show it at all. He is the brand manager of MC. But the entire MC is owned by the Gong family. The crown prince of the Gong family wants the female artist he selected to be the spokesperson of MC for the next season. Who dares to have any objections? even if he picked a primary school student. As long as the young master likes it, it doesn't just depend on his preference. No matter whether the sales are good or not, it is Gong's interests that will be lost. He doesn't care what others say. What makes the brand boss a little confused is whether Mr. Gong is really interested in the young newcomer. I have seen various scandal reports before. But at that time, no one who had been around the young master for several years really took those scandals seriously. Because they all knew that the young master liked the one from the Shen family. With the help of the Shen family. End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 1109. Chapter 1109. After all, the new guy is the one that Mr. Gong likes. He is waiting for the eldest lady of the Shen family. Since he regards the eldest daughter of the Shen family as so important, how could he fall in love with another woman? What's more, she is a newcomer in the entertainment industry who is far better than Miss Shen in all aspects. Beautiful means beautiful, even in the entertainment industry, her appearance is first rate. But what is the identity of Mr. Gong? Since you were a child, have you seen too many beauties? How could you fall in love with someone else just because you are beautiful? But Mr. Gong has now given the MC's endorsement for the next season to that young newcomer. It can be seen that the scandals on the internet are not just made up by reporters. Mr. Gong really has taken a liking to that young newcomer. Maybe it was because after waiting for so many years, the eldest lady of the Shen family did not respond, and the young master Gong must have felt cold after waiting. Gong Zili lay lazily on the sofa. After listening to the report from the brand boss, he nodded, well, sign the contract with them early. After it is officially signed, let the official Weibo release the news. Yes, young master Gong, but... Gong Zili raised his eyes and glanced at him, but what? The brand boss looked at his face and hesitated for a moment, then said cautiously, the spokesperson we signed last quarter is very capable of selling goods. After signing him, sales have almost doubled. Many fans are because of her Mway just bought our product. We also revealed on Weibo before that we would continue to sign a contract with him if we let those fans know that we have changed our spokesperson. Will they stop buying MC products in the future? Brand CEOs are quite worried about this. He is very worried that after the spokesperson is replaced by Chiao Mian in the next quarter, MC sales performance will plummet. Brand bosses don't dare to speak too directly. The new guy is the one the young master likes after all. If he showed any disdain, he would soon be despised by the young master. Once Mr. Gong dislikes him, I'm afraid he won't be able to remain a boss for long. The brand boss didn't dare to speak too directly, but Gong Zili quickly understood the meaning. He had an indifferent expression on his face. MC relies on its own reputation to maintain its position in the cosmetics industry. If the quality of its products is not up to par, no matter how strong the artist is in selling goods, it will only drive sales for 1 or 2 quarters at most. It will not long. What we need are customers who are interested in the quality of the product itself, not customers who just follow their idols and blindly consume regardless of the quality of the product. The latter will not be our main customer of MC. If they lose it, they will lose it. There is no regret. Brand CEO. He doesn't care about the guests. As long as it can increase sales, he likes it. Young Master Gong is right, the brand manager complained in his heart, but said respectfully on his face, young Master Gong sees the problem thoroughly. Unstable customers are indeed not the main customers of our MC. As soon as he finished flattering, his cell phone rang. Seeing that it was the young newcomer's agent calling, the brand boss held his cell phone and said, Mr. Gong, they called over there. They should be talking about signing a contract with us. Gongzili nodded. You answer the phone. Yes. The brand manager immediately answered the phone and hung up after chatting for a few minutes. Mr. Gong, Miss Jiao has arrived. Now her agent requires that the contract be signed today. You see. Then I'll sign it today. The lazy look on Gongzili's face changed slightly, and his eyes also changed. Although he still looked careless, when he heard Jiao Mian coming over, his eyes changed. It lit up for a moment. End of this chapter. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 1110. Chapter 1110. Are you going to chase the newcomer? Yes, Mr. Gong. Miss Jiao and her agent are also in the club now. I will go there right away. Do you want to go there too? The brand boss thought that Gongzili would definitely go there. Otherwise, he wouldn't have made the mistake of coming here. I came all the way here just for that, Miss Jiao. It seems that Mr. Gong is really interested in the young newcomer. The brand boss thought that it would pass in a while and he would have to be polite to the newbie. Maybe one day, that young newcomer will become the girlfriend of the palace master. No, Gongzili was silent for a moment and refused. A trace of surprise appeared on the face of the brand boss. Aren't you going? Miss Jiao is also. Before he finished speaking, Gongzili gave him a cold look, which scared him so much that he immediately swallowed back all the words he had not yet finished. Yes, Mr. Gong, I understand. The brand boss dared not say anything more, for fear that if he said one more word, he would offend the prince in front of him. Who doesn't know that the crown prince of the Gong family doesn't have a very good temper? Mr. Gong, can I go over now? The brand boss glanced at her face cautiously and asked cautiously. Yeah, Gongzili waved his hand. Go. Yes, young Master Gong. The brand manager immediately turned around and walked out. He had already reached the door when he was stopped by Gongzili again. He immediately turned around and said, Do you have any other instructions, Master Palace? Gongzili thought for a while and said, Help them buy the items. Then ask someone to send them some delicious food and drinks. By the way, prepare a bouquet of flowers to send over. Remember, don't reveal that it's me. Let you do this. Brand CEO, yes. Mr. Gong, what does this mean? Are you going to chase that newbie? Then why didn't he show up himself? And he didn't let the newbie know that he did all these things. Why does it sound like a secret love? But with the status of young Master Gong, can he have a crush on a woman? What kind of woman he wants is just a matter of words. Not to mention this kind of newcomer with no identity background. He felt that if the young master liked it, he could just play with it casually. It doesn't even have to be given a title. But he really couldn't understand what Master Gong was doing now. Why does it look like a secret love? He is Gongzili. If you like any woman, just chase her. The brand boss left with doubts. He didn't know what Mr. Gong was thinking, and he didn't dare to ask. As a qualified subordinate, he just does what he is asked to do. Asterisk. After the brand CEO left, Gongzili asked other people in the box to go out as well. He was sitting alone in a large box, looking out the window, but his eyes had no focus. The memory of that night came back to him like a movie replaying. Only this time, the blurry white figure in my mind became clear. The blurry face also has clear outlines. He couldn't remember how many times he felt regretful about why he didn't find out the truth earlier. Why was it that when he knew the truth and wanted to make amends, it was already too late? Why, he was not allowed to discover the truth a little earlier? Why? Why does he finally have a woman he likes and a woman he wants to treat well, but he has no chance anymore? Why did the person she married turn out to be his good brother? Even if he doesn't care whether she is married or not, can he steal his brother's woman? End of this chapter.